At 75, Suzi Quatro finally opens up about Chris Norman. Suzi Quatro, born Susan K. Quatro on June 3, 1950, in Detroit, Michigan, showed an extraordinary musical ability from a very young age. That early passion and talent would eventually propel her to global fame. Unlike many women in her generation, Suzi did not limit herself to being a lead singer backed by a band. Instead, she shattered expectations by establishing herself as a leather-clad, bass-playing rock force in a male-dominated industry. She became a trailblazer both artistically and culturally, and her influence continues to inspire musicians around the world. Growing up in a musically inclined household, Suzi was immersed in sound, rhythm, and creativity from the start. Her father, Art Quatro, was a musician, and music filled their home daily. This supportive and artistic environment encouraged her to discover her own voice and confidence. By her teenage years, she was already performing publicly, forming an all-girl garage rock band with her sisters called the Pleasure Seekers. The group was revolutionary for its time, becoming one of the earliest all-female rock bands to gain recognition when women were rarely accepted as instrumentalists. Suzi played bass, sang, and radiated confidence even then, laying the foundation for the powerful image that would later define her international career. Her path changed dramatically in the early 1970s when legendary British producer Mickey Most recognized her originality and star potential. Acting on his belief in her, Suzi moved to the United Kingdom, a daring decision that ultimately defined her career. While American audiences were still hesitant to fully embrace women in hard rock, the UK welcomed her enthusiastically. In 1973, she exploded onto the scene with her hit single Can the Can, a high-energy rock anthem that reached #1 on the UK charts and sold more than 2 million copies worldwide. The song announced her arrival as a fearless performer and solidified her image as an artist in complete command of the stage. Throughout the 1970s, Suzi Quatro became one of the most prominent women in rock music. Tracks like 48 Crash, Devil Gate Drive, and The Wild One turned into major international successes, highlighting her distinctive blend of strong vocals, driving bass lines, and defiant attitude. Wearing her iconic leather jumpsuit on stage, she projected strength, independence, and confidence, challenging long-standing stereotypes about women in music. She refused to be treated as a novelty or secondary figure, demanding recognition as a serious musician and earning it through her talent and determination. Her success helped pave the way for future women in rock and punk, securing her status as a true pioneer. Beyond music, Suzi expanded her career into acting, gaining widespread recognition in the United States during the mid-1970s for her role as Leather Tuscadero on the television sitcom Happy Days. The role introduced her to a broader American audience and allowed her to showcase her charisma in a new format while staying authentic to her rock and roll persona. Her success on television proved she was more than just a singer, establishing her as a versatile entertainer. Her impact has always gone beyond chart positions. Suzi Quatro is frequently cited as a direct inspiration by artists such as Joan Jett, Chrissie Hynde, Debbie Harry, and members of the Runaways. These musicians have openly acknowledged that Suzi's courage and image gave them the confidence to pursue careers in genres long dominated by men. Her legacy is measured not only by record sales but by the barriers she broke and the doors she opened for others. She became a role model without intending to, reshaping both the sound and image of rock music across generations. Even as decades passed, Suzi never lost momentum. She continued touring, recording, and performing well into the 21st century, proving her enduring passion for music. Albums like Back to the Drive in 2006 and No Control in 2019 demonstrated her ability to deliver energetic, modern rock that resonated with longtime fans. Her stage presence remained electric, and her voice retained the power and edge that first captivated audiences in the 1970s. In the later stages of her career, Suzi found new ways to connect with audiences by moving into radio broadcasting. On BBC Radio 2, she brought her signature charisma, deep knowledge of rock history, and personal industry stories to listeners across the UK and beyond. Her first show, Rocking with Suzi Q, was more than a radio program. It was a celebration of rock music's legacy. Fans tuned in not only for the songs but for her behind-the-scenes stories and infectious enthusiasm. She later followed it with Wake Up Little Suzi, which carried the same authentic energy while offering a fresh approach. Through radio, she proved once again that her talents extended beyond the stage, reinforcing her status as a cultural icon with a timeless ability to entertain and inspire. In 1976, at the height of her groundbreaking career, Suzi made a significant personal commitment by marrying her longtime guitarist and collaborator, Len Tucky. Their marriage blended personal and professional lives, as Tucky was a key member of her touring band. Together, they understood the pressures of the music industry and built a family, welcoming 2 children. Balancing motherhood with an international career was challenging, but Suzi managed both with determination. Despite their bond, the marriage eventually ended in 1992 after 16 years. During their time together, they had purchased a large manor house near Chelmsford in Essex in 1980, which became a family home and a place of stability. After the divorce, Suzi remained there with her children, using the house as a sanctuary from public life. In 1993, she remarried, this time to German concert promoter Rainer Haas, whose understanding of the industry provided companionship and support. Family continued to be central to her life, and in 2006 her daughter and grandchild returned to live in the manor, restoring a lively family atmosphere. When her children later moved out again, Suzi experienced empty nest syndrome and eventually put the manor up for sale, reflecting a desire for change. Today, she divides her time between Essex and Hamburg, while still maintaining a strong emotional connection to Detroit, the city where her musical journey began. At 75, Suzi Quatro has spent more than 5 decades in the spotlight, earning recognition as one of the first women to truly break into rock and roll. Known for her leather outfits, thunderous bass lines, and unstoppable stage presence, one chapter of her career stands out brightly: her collaboration with Chris Norman of Smokey. Fans have long speculated about their connection following the release of their 1978 global hit Stumblin' In. Now, with the clarity that comes from experience, Suzi has spoken more openly about what Chris Norman meant to her. She described him as one of the easiest people she ever worked with, praising his lack of ego and natural chemistry. When producer Mike Chapman paired them together, neither expected the song to become a massive hit. Yet it reached number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100 and remains beloved decades later. Suzi recalls their studio sessions as joyful, respectful, and collaborative, emphasizing that their bond was professional and platonic. Though fans imagined romance, she insists their connection was rooted in friendship and shared artistry. Looking back, she embraces Stumblin' In as a defining moment that revealed a softer side of her artistry. Even today, she and Norman remain friends, reconnecting easily whenever they meet. For Suzi, the song's lasting appeal lies in its universal theme of unexpected love and life-changing moments. At 75, she continues to tour and inspire, and she proudly places her collaboration with Chris Norman among the highlights of her remarkable career, grateful for the music and memories they created together.